Hello everybody, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. I would like to introduce myself, Sheki Sheku here. You can call me Sheki, but I prefer you don't call me Sheku. Got it? Thank you. In this video, I would like to talk about the lore of Skylands, more specifically the elements. In a more technical way, it's about how a quartermaster chooses which element to which Skylander belongs to. Okay, let's begin. If you look at the screen, you'll see 10 elements: air, earth, fire, water, life, undead, magic, tech, light, and dark. These are the elements that exist in Skylands. But ask this question: is a being in Skylands limited to one or to many elements? Now, the short answer is yes, he can, or she, or it can have more than just one element. And I have proof. Roll the footage. Oh, no, I mean Exhibit A. If you take a look at the screen, you'll see a bio of a character called Chop Chop, who is an arcane warrior. And in his bio, it tells us what he was made out of. Yeah, correct. What he was made out of. It tells us that he's made out of 3 elements: tech, magic, and undead, giving us proof that any being in Skylands can have more than just one element. If that doesn't prove for you, well, if that doesn't convince you, I have Exhibit B. If you take another look at the screen, you'll see a character called Hootsuckle, who was first introduced as a villain, an undead villain in the 4th game, then was reintroduced in the 6th game as a dark Skylander, like Taekwon Crow, who was a dark element, then turned into a fire element. But why did they change their elements when becoming a Skylander? Yeah, a Skylander. Now, I'll tell you right now. And my theory is that this is their main element. But before I can explain why this is their main element, I have to explain how any being in Skylands is connected to any element. Now, the simplest way to be connected to an element is being made out of that element, like Eruptor being in the fire element because he's lava, and Stump Smash being in the life element since he's a walking tree. But there's another way to be connected to an element. If you take a look at the screen, you'll see 3 characters. 3 of them are considered being in the life element, being connected to the life element, since they're living creatures. Living creatures are from nature, and nature is the life element, therefore making them connected to the life element. But we see here that their main element isn't the life element, but rather something else. But why? It's because they're connected to that element through exposure rather than being made out of it. Like with Trigger Happy being exposed to his golden guns, Boomer using his bombs exposed to those explosions, and Popfist constantly drinking his potion soda thingies. I love those 3. Now, let's get back to topic. We were discussing about the second way how to be connected to the elements is through exposure. Either exposed to the items you use or equipment, or you can generate the element. Like how Spyro can breathe fire, he exposed to the fire, making him connected to the fire element. You can also be connected to you can also be exposed through environments by being able to traverse or live in those environments with ease, like how Terrafin can traverse underground, make him connected to the earth element, and any flying characters are connected to the air elements such as Blaze, Cinder, Sunburn, and so on and so forth, and wall running. No idea which element that belongs to, but still, it's cool. Love you, Spidey. Now let's sum up everything I talked about how to be connected to the elements. Number 1, to be made out of the element. Number 2, to be exposed to it through numerous ways. Now this is the only 2 ways that I've thought of that make sense. There could be other ways that I could not see from my perspective. You can see it. Probably you can write it on down in the comments, or you can debate on it with the community of Skylanders. Yeah, the Skylanders fans. Now, let's get back. Now, these are the two ways to be connected to the elements. But what is the deciding factor in knowing which one is their main element? Now, the answer is the mental connection. Now, this connection is not the same like these two ways to be connected to the elements. These two ways are a physical connection. How the body is exposed and connected and that is through the body. Now, the mental connection is through the mind, through the soul. How the being sees the element, how he feels about it. Now that's the most important factor, because that's the main thing that's going to decide which element will be the main element. It's important to note that you need to have a physical connection in order to make that element eligible to be your main element. The mental connection is simply the impactful deciding factor. Understood? After all of that, we now know which element to which Skylander belongs to. But why does the Portal Master chooses this element for the Skylander? My theory is that the Portal Master chooses this element to make the Skylander more sufficient in battle. In the game, we see that the Skylander, when going into an area, matching their element, gains them an additional damage boost, making them more stronger in battle. And that's why the Portal Master chooses their main element, not the other elements, but their main element, making them the most sufficient, at the toppest, the strongest they can be. Okay? That concludes this video. I thank you for watching. No need to subscribe or like, just simply watch from the beginning to the end. Have a good day. Have a good night.